Hello and welcome to me filming a dirty table. No, actually this is a Thrift Picks video. Let's first go over the smaller items which I've gotten, and then I'll discuss a bigger item which I acquired. So in our games section, and maybe I went over some of these games in a previous video, but it doesn't always hurt to kind of talk about them again. So I found Heroes 3 of Might and Magic. This was 69 cents. StarCraft 2 expansion set. This was 69 cents again. And the partial set of Diablo 2. This only has the first disc of 2, so it's virtually useless to me. I paid $1 for that. Jet Fighter 2015 from 2005, which I paid only $1 for. It has both CDs, and they're both in almost excellent condition, no scratches, etc. This manual is not wanting to go in. But yeah, it has everything. It has the manual book and everything. Both the CDs, it's in great condition. Then the next one, which I got purely because it was really interesting. Well, all of these games are interesting. The next one was Aztec Media Corp. Adventure Games for $1 for MS-DOS and Windows 3.1. Oh, okay, actually, yeah, okay, so this is for MS-DOS, Windows 95, and Windows 3.1. It requires a 486 SX 33 MHz, 8 megabytes of RAM, at least VGA, and Windows 3.1. Okay, so these are all Windows-based games. Then I picked up War Games, the official endorsed game of the movie, for $1. Then I got Star Wars X-Wing Wars. Complete X-Wing collection on CD. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I don't know what... I mean... Is it X-Wing TIE Fighter, or X-Wing, or does it include TIE Fighter? I'll have to find out. Then I got The Sims Mega Deluxe, which includes House Party, Live and Large, and Hot Date. And then some extra expansion packs. Everything is in here, except for the manual, which is a little bit disappointing. And then I grabbed Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. And then I got SimCity 3000, which is a complete set and includes the manual and CD. I originally had this in a compilation, but I wanted to actually have the jewel case version. And I got System Shock 2. Which I don't have System Shock 1 yet, but I heard the System Shock 2 is a little bit better. And then, again, for only $1. So all of these are either 69 cents or $1. Then, for $1, I got City Life. Which, it's like SimCity, I guess? I've never heard of it before. But I guess Best Buy originally was selling it for $30. I got it for $1. Then again, it's from 2005. And then I got this camera here, which needs some work, but it's Canon PowerShot G9 for $8. And all it needs is a $10 Power DC whatever board, because when you turn it on, it doesn't do anything because they got shorted out. These have a problem where there are screws inside, they become loose and jiggle around and short stuff out. So I'm going to replace the DC board and basically super glue the screws in place. And then finally, the main reason for sort of filming this video is because this. Yes, I've gone over to the dark side. I got a MacBook. A 2011 MacBook Pro, 13-inch. Let's sit down so we can see a little bit better. So, story about this is I have an app on my phone that it tells me when there are eBay deals. I set it for specific keywords and specific prices. And then I let it kind of do its thing and it notifies me. I could have it automatically bid for me, but that would be a terrible mistake because I'd be out of money and I'd have too much crap. So I set it to look for anything Apple in computers under $200. Well, because people don't know how to categorize stuff, I was getting constantly inundated with junk notifications of chargers, of cables, cases, broken items, broken phones, iCloud locked, water damaged, SIM locked, and like those were interesting to look at, but most of it was just it spamming me with posts about lightning cables or phone repair service, because they put it under computers. So I changed it where it's still under computers, under $200, but I said look for MacBook Pro, MacBook, MacBook Air, iMac, Mac Pro, and then iPod, iPhone. So it notified me on the I think the 19th? I can get the listing up. But it notified me a few days ago, and Google decided to change stuff. Okay. eBay app. So the listing read as following. And keep in mind, sometimes I buy stuff just to fix up, or just for parts. So I wasn't scared of this. Here's what the listing read. Broken Apple MacBook Pro, Core i5, 2.3 gigahertz, 13-inch, 320 gigabyte hard drive, and it's the A1278 model, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2011. And the description said, for parts or not working. Yeah, I don't know if there's grammatical error there. For parts or not, or for parts or, ellipsis, not working. I don't know what he was going for. Then the seller notes, not even the description, the seller notes said, MacBook is in poor used cosmetic condition, with scratches and dents on the body. Device is broken. Apple limited warranty expired. Dead device. Liquid damage possible. Absolutely no guarantee. Sold as is. Buyer beware. We don't know if it's been opened. Specs not guaranteed. Basically meaning you could bid on this and we could send you the Core 2 Duo MacBook Pro. Because screw you with no RAM and no hard drive. Because we didn't guarantee the specs. So I was trying to figure out whether or not to bid. And I'm going, well, it's only $184, well, $185. And the next cheapest one was like $490, and that's used in broken condition. Yeah, I could get one with a broken screen. And then what? Replace the screen? So I was wavering on whether or not to get it, and I'm looking at the listing and refreshing, and I add it to my watch list. And I'm trying to figure out, it's like, should I get it or not? And I noticed that the and also this had like a day and 19 hours left. So, before it expired. And it was a buy it now. So I originally had like six watchers, then I added, so it was 7. Then I went to 8, and then 12, and then 15, and then 20, and then 25, and 30, 35, 38. So by the time of maybe half an hour of me thinking about it, it was already up to 38 watchers. So I sent the guy a message, and granted he only had like half an hour to reply, and I bought it, but I mean, it's not his fault that he didn't reply. So I finally went, you know what, I'm going to hit buy. So I hit buy, and I'm going, oh, what did I just do? I just wasted $185. So I have to wait about a week and a half for it to show up. Meanwhile, I'm looking up all these terrible problems for it. It's like, oh, it could be a logic board, it could be fried SMC, it could be, damaged. If it's water damage, then look for these sensors. Like, So I finally get in the mail. It finally arrives. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, oh, it's kind of grungy. I cleaned it up since, but it's like it had food grime on it and fingerprints. I'm like, ew. And it smelled. It just smelled unpleasant. So I'm like, oh, great. It's completely dead, and I wasted my money. So I'm looking at it, and he didn't give me the AC charger. Okay. So I go to Best Buy, and I buy one for $80. So right now, $185 plus $80 after tax is $265. I'm already $265 into this. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will fix it. So I plug in the AC charger, and dim green light of death. Nothing. Doesn't charge, doesn't turn on, absolutely nothing. And the battery light sensor on the side is the blinking single light, meaning the battery's too dead to turn on. Okay, what now? So I look on YouTube, and I find this guy, his company's like Rossmann Group or something, and I'll leave a link to his channel. So he does MacBook repairs. He does Air and Pro and stuff like that. And he's talking about all the stuff that could be fried, like the SMC could be fried, the 3v3 hot line could be fried, this other thing could be broken. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of a waste of money and a little bit, ugh. So I post in the low-end Mac group forum and go, hey, do any of you have any ideas on this? And they're like, well, you could be a logic board, which is $500 to replace. No way. Or $300 for repair. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or it could be the $10 MagSafe connector. I'm like, $10. So before we even did this, I tried some other things, and I was able to get it to turn on an SMC bypass mode, which is basically debug safe mode for hardware. So at least I knew it sort of worked, and I tested everything that I could. Wi-Fi worked, the optical drive worked, volume up-down worked. The only thing that couldn't be changed is the screen brightness, and the keyboard, and some other things. And also the sensors weren't working. The fan sensor wasn't working, so the fans were on all the time. And the battery level wasn't charging because, it couldn't sense that. on the hard drive temperature, etc. So I'm like, okay, well, it sort of works. A working system is better than a non-working if I have to flip it for parts. So I order the $10 part. It takes about a week or so to get here. And I remove the old MagSafe connector, and I notice that there's a burnt mark on it. And maybe I still have it somewhere. Hold on. So here is the old MagSafe charger. That is not a shadow. That is corrosion or burnt. I have no idea what that was, and it was actually a lot blacker than before, because I cleaned with isopropyl alcohol, and I turned the Q-tip black. And now it's more of like a puke brown. But those contact pins for the MagSafe are fuzzy and out of focus. Are completely burnt. So I've replaced this part, and I plug it into the logic board. I'm screwing everything in place, getting all the screws set up. I haven't touched it with a screwdriver yet. And I have the MagSafe charger connector here, like not connected to it, but like on the table. And I go to grab my tweezers or screwdriver or something, and I bump it, and it connects to it, and nothing's like really screwed in place, but it's just sort of all connected wire-wise. So it bumps it and connects, and the system boots up, powers on. I hear the startup chime, and I'm like, yes, it works. So then I go and I unplug the MagSafe, and it, powers down because the battery's completely flat. I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna work. So I screw everything in, put the back panel on, connect the MagSafe, and it goes from really bright green, like it goes from no LED to bright green to orange, meaning it's charging the battery. I'm like, yes, the battery is charging. So I turn it on, and it boots into my recovery edition of 10.8.6 Mountain Lion, just so I could have something installed. And I check the battery level up in the top there, and sorry, I had to hold the camera one-handed to get something. And it's saying charging, which is good. And it was saying 0%, 48 hours remaining, or some insane amount. I'm like, okay, dead battery. So I let it sit, and I go to do some errands or something. I come back, open up the Mac, and it's at 85% charged. An hour left of charging. I'm like, okay, this is good. So I log into my iTunes account, set up all that fun stuff, and I get notified of the well, first I go and I seek out the Yosemite update, and I download that. But I want to test everything, so I test the screen brightness and the keyboard brightness, and the keyboard lights up. And you can see on the screen that does everything. And then screen brightness works. And the optical drive works. It burns and reads DVDs and CDs. The volume works. Sound works. Both speakers. And also, turn this all the way up. And also the microphone works. And the webcam works. So everything works on this, and I tested the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi and the AirDrop and the Apple Cast, whatever they call it, Screen Share Cast, the thing with the, you can display to another screen. The USB works, the HDMI works, Thunderbolt / DisplayPort works, SD card reader works. So everything I have tested works perfectly. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just go and install Yosemite. So I install Yosemite and everything's fine. And I go and I install 10.11.0 and it's fine. And I'm running El Capitan currently. And I guess the guy just didn't test it. So I look up the Apple Care also. And it expired in August of 2014. The virtually brand new battery was purchased August 2014. Here's what probably happened. Laptop dies, it won't charge. The people that had it weren't very tech savvy. They take it to Apple for their Apple Care, and Apple goes, "Oh, looks like your warranty's out of time, it's expired. You can either pay $400 for a logic board in quotes, repair, or $50 for a replacement battery." They go, "Oh, okay, let's do a replacement battery." They install the battery and charge them and go, "Oh, well, it looks like it's not really fixed. But since you already bought the battery, we can't take it out and you have to pay us now." So they're left there, they're screwed. They put a brand new battery in this. They're thousands of dollars into it because it's, at the time in 2014, it was only a 3-year-old laptop. So they're like $1,000 into it. Okay, yeah, depreciation, etc., but whatever. Actually, these don't depreciate that much. So they're hundreds of dollars into it. It has all the information. So they pull the hard drive and they probably flip it on eBay. They sell it on eBay and Mr. Computer Reseller buys it. His testing, no offense, but it probably consists of, if I plug it into an AC adapter, will it turn on? Yes, no. And if it doesn't turn on, then it's broken and I'll sell it for parts. Because I don't think he really tested it. I honestly do not think he tested it that well. And what's strange is he listed it as extremely poor poor cosmetic condition. And the only things I can find are a little tiny dent here, like a little curl, and these corners here are a little bit bent. Are a little bit bent and scuffed. But you can't even notice it when the lid is closed. And then finally, there's one itty-bitty scratch here, which can be fixed. I mean, I know there's a YouTuber of the name of Dello304, I think, Ryan Garrett. And he got a MacBook Pro 2011 edition, Core i7. And the left side corner was blown out, the top was warped, and the bottom pan was completely bent. And he got it for a little bit of money, but that's what I think of as poor condition. Because everything else works. And cosmetically, after I cleaned it with some rubbing alcohol, it cleaned right up. So physical damage, there's basically nothing. And if I can buff that scratch out, it'll look perfectly fine. And yeah, there's some light scratches on the bottom, but who's going to see the bottom of the laptop? And yeah, maybe I can get a case for it, like a little skin, but I mean, I'm going to be using it for YouTube, like editing videos maybe, and watching YouTube videos, and listening to music, watching movies, and internet. It's perfectly fine for me, and also on top of this, so, like, I'm $265 into it, right? Yeah, $265 plus the $10 part. So, $265 plus $10. Those that failed math might need help, but that's going to be $275. So $275 into this. And I got paid my last paycheck for $210. So $210. So only $65 into it. And I found some spare change that amounted to $23. So $23. I'm only $42. Oh, actually, plus $10, 10, 15. Also minus another $10 that I had in my wallet. So I'm only $32 into this. So this is a $32 MacBook Pro 2011 edition. And I had some spare RAM and hard drive lying around. I forgot about that. But yeah, I threw a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it. That's how I was able to get 10.8 on it. And then I put 6 gigabytes of RAM into it. It had 4. So I did a swap between two of my systems. I put the 2 gig in another system, etc. So this has 6, the other one has 6. So 6 gigabytes of RAM. And it does everything I want. And I'm more annoyed and confused of how someone would let this deal slip by. I mean, I'm also excited I was able to fix it. That it was that simple of a fix. But it just doesn't exactly make sense that unless the person deals in such a huge volume, why wouldn't they take a little bit more time to do diagnostics on it? So that's just my thought. So, wow, this has only been almost half an hour. Well, since I haven't made a video in like a month, this is sort of kind of to make up for it. So expect more videos on this. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on this, maybe. Kind of going over the innards and whatnot. Maybe. The one thing that's a little bit wonky is the backlit keyboard. I guess someone spilled something on this. Oh, also, none of the water sensors were tripped. There was no corrosion. I cleaned the logic board like 3-4 times with isopropyl alcohol, dried it off, made sure there was no corrosion, and then when I put it back together it worked. So maybe cleaning off the board fixed it also. But none of the water sensors were tripped. None of that was, messed up or set off. What else? I mean, yeah, and everything works on it. So that's pretty nifty. So this is coming up on about half an hour. So I'm going to end it about here. This has been Zesty Panda with another video. Remember to thumbs up, favorite, subscribe if you have any questions. Ask them in the comments. I will have more videos going on. I'm going to do another video about my 2006 gaming PC. It's Mr. Computer up there. Also, my 90s gaming PC kind of died because the hard drive crapped down on it. And I'll throw another hard drive in that right now, but I'm kind of burnt out on 90s stuff. So I'll take care of that later. I just kind of wanted to, do something different. So I'll be working on the 2000 gaming PC. Or something else I was trying to say about this. Oh well, I don't remember what it was. But, yes, this is my new, for me, MacBook Pro 13-inch 2011. Oh yeah, also, the SuperDrive was acting really weird when I was in the testing phase. Apparently the way it works, my understanding, is there's a half circle of sectional triangle pieces of metal. There's like a little finger that grabs the CD or something. So two of these little pieces had popped over each other instead of furling and unfurling like the Japanese flag, not Japanese flag, like a Japanese fan. So it had gotten a little bit jammed. So I wiggled a DVD in and out, and I cycled the eject and unreject, whatever, the opposite of eject, through the terminal, and I heard it go work, click, and then there was like a pop, like a metallic pop, and then it sucked the DVD in, and it's worked ever since. I've tested game CDs, audio CDs, movie CDs, burned them, etc., ripped from them. It works perfectly fine. So yeah, this has been, like I said, Zesty Panda with another video. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Share, subscribe, favorite this, comment in the comments below. This is about 31 minutes now, so I should probably end it. Have a lovely day.